Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and in today's video, or in the member group, daixrp.com, I'm going to do two things. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you why I think my X account was suspended. I was having a conversation with somebody last night, and it just makes sense. And the second thing I'm going to do is utterly stun you when you see something I'm going to show you. It has to do with something that came out yesterday, but if you've never seen what I'm going to show you, you will be stunned. There's no question about that. Okay, I want to start here. There's so much with Swell going on and all the video going around that you got to see, and it's all great stuff. Plus the prices moving and all that. We got to show it. But first I wanted to show you this graphic because it's so true. This is a graphic of Warren Buffett's cash that he's always got. This guy, just by coincidence, he always happens to have tons of cash when the markets get destroyed, like in the financial crisis, and that's why Wall Street had to turn to him. Look at how much, and it's showing you how much cash he's had at different points in time, and you're getting to 2023. I want you to look at how much cash that this guy is sitting on right now versus in the past, because he knows that the shit's about to hit the fan, folks. He knows. That's all you have to see right there. That's why I'm so confident about what I'm doing. I'm making sure I have plenty of cash, gold, physical gold in my Glen account, and my XRP, my precious XRP, in a safe place, and my 1 Bitcoin too. Check it out. Crypto Insight UK, XRP Blast Off T-minus 6 days. He goes, if we look at XRP structure, we can see it accumulate for a small amount of time. However, XRP's accumulation should be considered more bullish. It had an upward slanting accumulation, meaning buyers control the accumulation period. Here he says XRP follows a similar path to Link, whatever that is. Remember, XRP's accumulation was more bullish. This chart implies we should see at least $1.02. But then Dark Defender says we discussed XRP and is in a correction on the 4-hour time frame. If we zoom out, we can clearly see the current 66 cents resistance fight, which it did beat the resistance. XRP hit our initial target, broke this. Then the next target will be $1.05, $1.88, $5.85. So his is $1.02. His is $1.05. That's pretty close. We're about to crack $1, folks. Here's day one Ripple Swell. All right, there's several videos from all this I want you to see. Okay. And then there was this. Listen to this guy laying down the truth bombs.
Since the regulations, it will...
You're not supposed to say this.
...strict. However, when the regulation comes, the adoption, I believe it will just go way up, way up. People will start obtaining cryptos because it's cheaper. It's quicker. Even if you're sending BTC, it will take like, I don't know, like 15 minutes to reach the confirmation. With XRP, it will take a second to reach. And there are like so many, like features, for example, like Binance, there, even introduced like Binance user. You don't need to pay the blockchain commission. You don't need to, you're just sending the crypto from one address to another address, from one user to another user. So yeah. And in here, actually, one point that I wanted to point out, that you said that in the end, some people still need fiat. Again, a great example of our payment gateway, because we do provide, full choice. You're either obtaining a settlement in fiat as the business if you want to stick, because the traditional, like cryptocurrency, eventually will become an ultimate alternative payment solution for all types of businesses. But still, the traditional ones will still be there, because the banking is evolving. Take the example of the open banking. It's a great example of how the banking systems are, evolutionizing, apart from this, bringing, again, more and more transparency to it.
Okay, and then there was this one. And by the way, I'm not positive that one was even. I don't even know for sure that is. That may not be Swell, maybe somewhere else. But who cares? It's good stuff.
So I would say digital assets as a whole. This is a $1 trillion industry that obviously the IFC cannot ignore. We strive to embrace it really and ensure that we regulate it, and we ensure that we provide those opportunities and protection to the investors and those that are using those digital assets to unlock that potential. DFSA has issued a number of years ago to allow those companies dealing with crypto and blockchain to test their products before they launch them to the market. There was also the crypto token regime where the XRP got approved really recently that also embraces those technologies. And we've recently also announced the Dubai AI and Web3 campus and the DIFC to attract more than 500 international AI and Web3 companies to come and set up shop in the UAE.
All right. Now, this was a clip. I showed you some of the Brad Garlinghouse, but here's a clip where he's talking about Gary.
Here in the U.S., it's like, it's like,
this is from DC Fintech.
Laws are clear, but yet we can't answer, is ETH a security?
Yeah, that's something that the chairman has still not actually
I don't
expressed
know
an
if you're
opinion
today,
on.
But you ask him again today.
Maybe I'll find him behind the curtain somewhere. I'll let you know.
Here in the U.S., it's like...
Okay, and now I want to make a comment.
The laws are clear.
Well, shoot.
But yet we can't answer, is...
On this DC Fintech Week, I want to make a comment. I hope you're listening, Chris Brummer, which I'm sure you're not. You're a Georgetown professor. But you and DC Fintech Week should be utterly ashamed of yourselves for letting Gary Gensler get on there and do a Gary Gensler SEC commercial and not ask him jack squat about the corruption and the lies and all of the awful things that he has done there, and his predecessor. And you didn't ask him shit. You didn't ask him anything. This guy, the problem we have in this country is that these people don't have any accountability for themselves. That's the only reason they're doing what they're doing. It's the only reason that they continue to conduct themselves in a way that does not serve investors, does not serve the American people. It's because people like you, Chris Brummer, are helping to allow it by not holding them accountable. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. DC Fintech's a joke. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. Done with that rant. And that's probably part of the reason, and I actually was texting with someone yesterday. That is what I would have said if my Twitter had not been turned off, and I would have tagged Chris Brummer in it so that he knew that I said it, and said it to 347,000 people, which is how many followers I had. Because the truth is what needs to be out there, and people are sick and tired of all of these people like Chris Brummer acting like, oh, well, you have to have some kind of decorum. No. Bullshit. You do not, and I'm sorry for the cursing. You do not need, the last thing this country needs right now is decorum. We need people to kick to literally, to hold these people accountable. Nobody's doing it. Nobody. The only people holding them accountable are citizens out here. Citizens out here that want the best for their children's future. And we're watching these people destroy it. And it's being allowed by all of the Chris Brummers of the world who have to maintain a certain decorum because I'm a professor at Georgetown. Well, screw you, because you're part of the problem. And I'm not saying Chris Brummer's not a nice guy. He seems to be a nice guy. But we've had enough of this. This country has had enough of this. And then Gary goes on and does all his fake commercials. And this guy thinks that something's going on because apparently Gary had put up a speech yesterday. And in the speech, he keeps referencing, well, look at this tweet right here. He keeps referencing derivatives, 4 to 5 billion repurchase agreements, 1987, the market crash, 2008 market crash, Black Monday. Gary's referencing all of these things in what he's talking about. Gary knows there's problems coming. Now, here's Tom Emmer. Normally I would say, oh, well, this is great. Tom Emmer, he's going after him. But Tom Emmer's doing nothing more than Tom Emmer has done from day one, which is talk and send letters. Tom Emmer hasn't subpoenaed Gary Gensler. Tom Emmer and his buddies who could do it, they haven't subpoenaed Gary Gensler. They haven't called for an investigation of ETHgate. They haven't done jack squat except talk and send letters. And he's doing more of it here.
Regulation by enforcement is a practice all too common with this administration. This is particularly the case at the SEC and Chair Gary Gensler's approach towards our capital markets and financial services industry, but especially with our emerging digital assets community. My amendment seeks to put an end to Chair Gensler's pattern of regulatory abuse, a pattern that is crushing American innovation and capital formation without undermining our ability to go after criminals and fraudsters. Specifically, my amendment prohibits the SEC from using funds for enforcement activities related to digital asset transactions until Congress passes legislation that gives the SEC jurisdiction over this asset class. This will keep Chair Gensler, who has proven himself to be ineffective and incompetent, in check while Congress continues working to give this industry a chance to grow and develop right here in the United States. Let's just look at the facts. Under Gensler's leadership, the SEC has pursued dozens of enforcement actions against the digital asset industry, despite never finalizing a...
Blah, 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 blah. And he's wrong. Gary Gensler is not ineffective and incompetent. Gary Gensler's doing exactly what he was sent there to do. This is an evil SOB. He is sent by political people to be a political operative. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. To even come out and say he's ineffective and incompetent makes me think Tom Emmer's being disingenuous because he knows this. All right, we're going off into the private group, and let me tell you what, folks. I am going to show you why I think I got suspended. I'm going to utterly stun you because I'm going to show you something that most of you have never seen in your life. Go to DAIXRP.com and I'll show you. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that, boy, it is stunning what I just showed in DAIXRP.com. If you haven't been in there yet, today's the day. It's a must see. You won't even believe it. I don't believe it. I mean, I do believe it, but it is sick. Thanks for listening.